Tonight, we're investigating the historic and haunted Scott County Jail.
It is not uncommon to hear running up and down the stairs. People have seen apparitions on the stairs.
The hauntings span all the way back to when this jail was actually in operation. Not only sheriffs in charge, but inmates.
They had to do emergency head count because they thought someone had gotten out of their cell. When they came out and checked, everyone was in their cells.
Whoa. Can you confirm that by touching another one of our devices here? Whoa. Thank you so much. Wow. Okay.
So bright.
It sounded like a man said, please leave.
Please go.
Wow. I'm gonna be handcuffing Dave to the door.
Are you kidding me?
What?
It looks like a prison cell. No way. No way.
Serious.
Free me?
Ooh, tripwire.
Handcuffed in here. Can someone come in and help me?
I literally just said something's about to happen. That is insane. Dave, we are officially standing inside one of Tennessee's most haunted jails. This is crazy, isn't it?
It is. They do say it is one of the most haunted places in the state.
And we are going to be here tonight to investigate to see if we can capture any proof of the paranormal activity and hauntings that people have experienced inside this jail.
Oh yeah.
But it's not just residents that have come here to take a tour. The hauntings span all the way back to when this jail was actually in operation. Not only sheriffs in charge, but inmates. And we've even received comments on our other jail investigations saying that we need to come here because they had been an inmate here, they'd been a prisoner, and they said everyone that was incarcerated here at that time was afraid of this jail because of the paranormal activity.
That's pretty interesting, not a side that you normally get to see. So.
That's right. So we are going to go ahead and start the night by going and meeting up with the owner of this building, Miranda, one of the owners, co-owners, and she's gonna walk us through and tell us all about what we can expect tonight, from the history to the hauntings. The Scott County Jail is gonna be interesting.
It is, and you can't go wrong with the jail in any capacity, so I'm excited to see what happens tonight.
Me too. Let's go meet up with her and see what she has to say.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. One thing's for sure. The history of the Scott County Jail is unique, and the hauntings left behind inside this small castle tell a tale of justice and the struggle to maintain it. You see, in a Tennessee mountain town like Huntsville, this fortress was inescapable, but not impenetrable, especially from those driven to enter by rage to enact horrific citizen justice against a prisoner. And in these mountains, as recently as 100 years ago, even the sheriff wasn't safe from the deadly will of the people.
Now, when the jail was originally built in 1904, it was 2 stories. It was also still in the castle-shaped style that we have today, but it was 2 stories. It held up to 32 inmates to 1 jailer. In 1922, there was a fire in a neighboring building that caught the 2nd story on fire. Rather than just going and repairing the damage, they went in, added the 3rd story, and turned that into maximum security on the 3rd floor. That brought the capacity from 32 inmates to 50 inmates to 1 jailer. Now, we have had issues with overcrowding, and so there have been times that we've had up to 100 inmates here in the jail to at least 1 to 2 jailers.
Wow.
Now, one of our resident spirits that we get a lot of activity from is Sheriff Richard Ellis. He was elected in 1920. He ran under the stance that he was going to make Scott County as dry as the Sahara. So he essentially put a target on his back from the minute that he went into office. And so when he did that, the moonshiners, they said that he wouldn't make it through his term if he followed through with what he was wanting to do. And so on August 12th, 1925, Sheriff Richard Ellis was bringing in a moonshiner by the name of George Foster, and he was unlocking these original gates that's right here. And as he was bringing him in, someone came up from behind, shot him in the head ambush style, and ran off into the night. It wasn't until the inmate was in the fetal position and yelling, the sheriff's been shot, that they actually came out, checked it out. And by that time, the assailant had had time to get off into the night. Now, it is still one of Scott County's unsolved murders.
It was a strange time to be a criminal, when the cold walls and bars of a jail cell were your only protection from an angry mob, until those bars failed to hold.
We also get a lot of activity at the front door and inside the foyer, not just because of that, but also because we've had a lot of mob mountain justice here, where, as I had said, there had been a threat on the jail that some people were going to break in and take inmates out. At this point, we've had 7 inmates that have been taken out of here via mob mountain justice, where people would basically mask up, come in and enact their own justice and execute those people on various parts of the property. Yeah, people have had some pretty interesting cat ball activity out here.
Wow. Speaking of cat ball, Sally.
As we found out tonight, the Scott County Jail has its own greeter and caretaker named Sally, and she does live inside the jail. But once our tour is over, she'll be isolated to the gift shop, where she won't be able to distract us or interfere with the investigation.
The first jail, when Scott County was established, was actually a overturned wagon, kind of looked like a caboose, and it sat in the front of the square. In the 1870s, they did build a structure on this property right here. It was a smaller structure, but we did know of at least 3 inmates that were executed from here for their various crimes. The lynching tree used to be at the front of the square, but it was destroyed by tornadoes in the 1930s. So some of these folks were executed in different places. Barry Boland was hung from a tree back in behind the jail. The other 3 were from the front up there. So in 1904, we had a coal and timber boom that happened here in the area. Had tons of people coming, and so they decided that they wanted to show that they meant law and order. So that's why they built the jail where they did and how they did here in the county seat.
And believe it or not, the property that the jail was built on has a strange connection to one of America's most famous outlaws.
Jesse James, he was here in Huntsville, but he did not serve time here in the jail. He ran a feed and seed store and went by the name David Moore, and so his store would have been right up in the front. He was hiding out here with his brother, and he was here for 8 months. So this will be your working restroom. This is the only working one we have in here. This is also one of our former drunk tanks, as well as our solitary confinement. And this is where we actually, one of our tall shadow figures is seen. I'll show you this one. We were doing a guided ghost hunt here, and the lady took 3 pictures. We had 3 people down here, and they had the REM pods in there. And so you can see here, there's the, if you want to flip that light off if you don't mind. There's the second one, and there's the third one.
Oh, wow.
And so he's seen here a lot. We think that could be Sheriff Richard Ellis.
Yeah.
That is Sheriff Richard Ellis up there at the very top, standing by the horse. And that's not a pony, it is a full-sized horse. He was a very large man.
Yeah. Very intimidating sheriff.
Yeah.
It seems the sheriff who was gunned down at the front gates of the jail may still be here, fulfilling his duties inside this building. And because back in that time, the first floor would have been his living quarters, many people have had experiences with who they believe is Sheriff Ellis.
We do suggest that people leave their recorders going when they go into the bathroom there, because people have gotten full-on sentences that sound like correction officer when they're in there using the bathroom. We've also, if you do sessions in there, people have gotten audible sobbing and crying inside there.
And it's this one right here.
This one right here. Mm-hmm.
The bathroom. Heard a lot of stories. People say they hear things in the stairs.
It is not uncommon to hear running up and down the stairs. People have seen apparitions on the stairs, light anomalies on the stairs, especially from that upper landing looking onto the third floor. We had officers and a former sheriff that said there were several nights that they had to do emergency head count because they thought someone had gotten out of their cell, and because it was so loud in here. And so when they came out and checked, nobody was out here, period. Everyone was in their cells.
Wow.
The looks of this one has changed. You'll get some different activity. You'll get stuff from maximum security because this was maximum security up until 1922. After that, they went in, they kind of remodeled a little bit. They would have remodeled this part in the 70s and turned it into the more dorm style cells. And so these cells were the trustee cells. The trusted inmates, the ones who did the road crew, the ones who maintained the jail. So basically before 1970, when jailers lived on the property, if you were the wife of the jailer, you were the cook. And so you cooked for the inmates, the deputies, your family, and also a lot of the time, family friends that would come over. In the 1970s, they added this kitchen up here. But this is the second floor kitchen. This would have been added in the 70s. This would have been whenever the inmates started cooking and maintaining the jail. This could also be a very violent area because you would have inmates that were using knives and such in here. We've had the pans swing back and forth. We've also found that sharp objects tend to work really well in here as trigger items. When Christy and I got the keys to the jail, we came in here and we were cleaning it up. And so I was cleaning beneath the dumbwaiter system here and actually ended up dislodging an old razor blade. And so I set it on the table for her to look at when she got back in town. Wasn't there when she came back. We've yet to find it. We also have lost a pair of scissors, a paint scraper, and a pane of glass. And so sharp objects is something that works really good as a trigger item in here. A couple different articles that tend to trigger activity. We tell people if things start to get a little bit slow, read some of the articles. For some reason, this article about Rhonda Byrd tends to trigger a lot of activity. Of course, there's Marion Carson in the picture there. But this does tend to trigger activity. We've gotten disembodied voices. We've had things moved. When you start reading this article, we've even had words come out on the Ovilus 5 before you read them in the article. It's been really interesting. Spirit boxes, Oviluses, anything with a word bank tends to work really good here in the jail.
The second floor seems to be filled with stories of paranormal activity. But from what we heard, the third floor is even more intense. This top floor, after 1922, was maximum security.
Obviously, the third floor was added in 1922. At that point, the second floor went from maximum security to the trustee level, and then this became maximum security. This room right here is a very active room. It was probably the most active whenever we first moved in here. This room has been used as a women's cell for the most part. And then after that, it was used as a male cell as more of like to kind of segregate them from general population. So we get a lot of activity based on that. We get, there's several women's names we've gotten. Tissy, Beth, Heather, Nicole. We've also got Walter and Larry. We find really throughout the jail, especially on this floor, they don't really like it when you're like interrogating them. They'll just shut down, they won't respond. But in this room, they like it when you play music, they like it when you flirt with them, they like it when you dance, when you tell dirty jokes. When you're cutting up with them and having regular conversation is when this area right here tends to come alive. And people have also been sitting here and seen somebody walk down the steps.
As we enter the men's cells on the maximum security floor, Miranda can finally tell us about the two most infamous inmates who fell victim to mob mountain justice.
Jerome Boyett and Harvey Winchester, and they were lynched from here in 1933. We believe that their cell would have been in this far right corner over here. Jerome was in here for killing the sheriff and his son in the neighboring county. He was a moonshiner, and one of his rival moonshiners had made a call that he was disturbing the peace on a train. They stopped the train, ordered them to not go anywhere until the sheriff came. When the sheriff came, there were words. Don't know who shot first, but during the shootout, Jerome ends up killing Sheriff George and his son Floyd Winningham. Jerome goes on the run. He's on the run for about 2 months. His community of no business, they were kind of helping him by putting food out and stuff. Posse goes to his dad's house in no business, asks where Jerome is. He refuses to give him up. They end up hanging him there in the barn. Jerome finds out about it. He comes here to the jail, turns himself in, and 8 days later, he's taken out of here to about 1.5 miles down the road with his cellmate, Harvey Winchester, and they're basically stripped naked, forced to put a rope around their neck, forced to run, and they're shooting at them, and they just brutally execute them.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So the cells would have looked a little bit different when Harvey and Jerome were taken out. They would have probably been up to the windows. They wouldn't have had the jailer's walk. Now the structure of this is the jailer's walk on the outside. People have seen some incredible shadow figures there. In fact, our very last jailer that we had before the jail shut down in 2005, he was actually chased off of the top level here by a shadow figure over in that corner. We get some of the most incredible footsteps up here that I've ever heard. The crazy thing about them is there's times they'll go on for 10 to 13 steps. They seem to be a lot in this jailer's walk and the main hall right there. These doors will open and close on their own. Some people have caught them on video doing that. But the guy that's in this cell goes by the name Big Roy. He's in here for crimes against women, and he tends to like talking to women, but he will also talk to men, and he's a little more challenging when it comes to men.
After walking around this creepy and intimidating building with Miranda, it's clear the things that we heard about the Scott County Jail are true. This place has been deemed to be haunted for as long as anyone can remember. And tonight, we hope that we can capture proof.
But are you ready to get started with this investigation? This is going to be really interesting. Jails, especially jails this old, they always hold a really interesting energy and a lot of intelligent spirits. So I'm excited to see what happens.
Me too. I'm ready to get this one started and see what goes on tonight.
Let's do it. The historic Scott County Jail in Huntsville, Tennessee. Here we come.
REM pod's going off. Hello? You want those?
That wasn't you with the REM pod? Interesting. Rolling Ryan, start abandonment. The REM pod was just going off with the keys that Miranda let us borrow. It's interesting, you put keys in front of a bunch of inmates, they might just grab them. It's official. We have cameras throughout the historic Scott County Jail, and we are going to be stepping outside for just a little bit to see what these cameras pick up when we're not in the building. So there are 2 cameras on the 3rd floor back to back facing down the 2 different sides of that block where Miranda told us the 2 gentlemen that were taken out and were victim of mob justice, mountain mob justice. They were taken out and executed. Their cell where they believe they stayed is on the one side, and then on the other side is the cell that she said is occupied by a man named Roy. And they always see shadows and they always hear footsteps, and There's a lot of strange activity up there. Second floor, we have a camera in the kitchen pointed from the back corner out towards the rest of that floor, because that is where she said that things go missing, sharp objects go missing. They have a lot of strange activity on that floor in general, so it's loaded with equipment as well. We also have down here on the first level, she said one of the most active places is the bathroom, which used to be the drunk tank. This is an active working bathroom, the only one in the building, so it's kind of interesting going in here into the former drunk tank and using a prison toilet. It's like you get the full prison experience here at the Scott County Jail.
You do.
So, but they've had a lot of shadow activity in here, and people capture EVPs and stuff when they're in there using the restroom, washing their hands. So, you ready to leave for a little bit, go outside, sit in the car, and see what happens?
I'm more than ready. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
We're leaving!
We're back. All right, so we are getting started here at the Scott County Jail. We just got back from abandonment. We have no idea what we captured when this jail was completely empty, but we know that one of the areas that they said was the most active was the maximum security floor, this third floor here. And we are going to start with an Estes Method Spirit Box session. We are going to be moving throughout this whole floor, at least I am. Dave is going to be right over here in this floor, or in this cell area. And he is going to be listening to the spirit box as I'm wandering through asking questions. If he hears anything, he's going to call it out, and hopefully it'll be relevant to the questions that I'm asking. We've done it in the past just as an experiment to see if we can get any correlation between possibly things that are speaking. And Miranda said that they have a lot of luck with word banks. Things that have word banks, Ovilus, and I assume GhostTube will probably do well here. So I'm going to roll on GhostTube to see if that matches with any of the stuff Dave is saying. And we have equipment set up throughout here to see what is going to happen.
Yes.
as soon as I turn it on.
Jump.
Yes, jump.
Ready?
Louder.
I'm ready. Louder, shoot. I'm ready. If there's anyone here with me, my name is Ryan, this is Dave. We came to talk to you guys. We are visiting you, or anyone that's in this maximum security block. There's a lot of cool things that we have set up that you can use to talk to us. And my friend Dave is in there, and he's got a box, some weird things on his ears. We believe that if you get close to him, you might be able to answer my questions through him. So if you could, walk up to him and say hello.
It's possible.
Well, thank you. I hope it's possible. Will you come out and talk to us? In case any of you guys wanted to get the keys and get out, I put the keys right here. So if you walk up and grab those keys, you should be able to get out of here. Roy, my friend, are you down here? Miranda told us that you like to talk.
Please leave.
Oh, wow.
Sounded like a child.
A child. Is this one of the children that lived here? Was your dad the sheriff? There's some people standing outside the window over here talking, so if you hear voices, they've parked in the parking lot across the road.
Who are you?
My name's Ryan. And that's Dave down there. We come with the utmost respect, and we come to just talk to you. We've heard stories that people have felt you and heard you inside this jail, and we want to know if there's life after death. Can you help us to see if there is? Can you show us that you can still hear me?
There was a man's voice there that said, "You gotta," I believe, is what it said.
You gotta. Well, I don't know if I have to, but it's something that I've been very interested in for a very long time. And I invite anyone in
It sounded like a man said, "Please leave."
Please leave.
Fountain.
I'm sorry that you're upset with the fact we're here. That's not my intention. I'm going to sit right here on this bench. My friend Dave and I, we just want to learn more about you and to know if you can hear me. There's a bunch of these lights all over. If you get close to them, they'll light up. The lights will turn on. It'll make noise. People see shadows in here all the time.
Brother.
Brother. Whose brother? Who are you talking about? Stand up here and keep walking. Guys, I point the camera forward and show you these cells, but I'm not allowed to because these are the escape rooms that they have here, and I don't want to show you any of the clues for their escape room that they have. Is anyone over here in the women's section?
Here.
Here, wow. Hello.
Also, I don't know where you are, but I feel someone standing to my left. Immediate left.
I'm all the way down here. And Dave's all the way at the other end down there. It's not me. Who's standing to Dave's left? Is that Jerome? Jerome Boyett? Man.
Please go.
Whoa. Dave's got please leave multiple times, and now I get please go. I'm sorry, I don't want to intrude. I just wanted to come in and talk to you. But I'll step back outside. How about that? They say this is where the women were housed. Can you tell me?
Coming to get me.
Who's coming to get you? Whoa. Jerome, are you talking about the mob? Or is this Harvey? Are you talking about the mob is coming to get you? That is very creepy and very relevant. Coming to get me. That had to have been a very scary situation, whoever was in here. I mean, I know mountain mob justice was pretty common back then. It was probably terrifying to have to wait in your cells knowing that the mob was outside the building coming in here, trying to get in here.
Found it.
Wow, Harvey Winchester. Harvey Winchester, man. He was 19 years old. Harvey Winchester, is that who I'm talking to here?
I will.
I will. You will what? You see this line of lights right here beside me? It'll change colors if you get close to it. And it'll let us see you walking up and down this hallway. Which cell are you in? If you're afraid and you want me to let you out, I can open the door for whatever cell you're in. Can you knock so I can hear you?
Knock.
Are you serious? There's times when I feel like there is a lot of randomness to Ghost Tube, but there's times like this you just can't explain the relevance there. All of my data and signal is off. It's not connected to any sort of server where it would listen to me to produce these words. There's no way. After I just say, can you knock? It says knock. I'd love to hear it. Can you knock now?
Free me?
That's free me. Okay, I mean, I need to know where you are, my friend. Can you touch these?
Hey!
Hello? Can you touch these lights over here? What are you in here for? I need to know. Because if you're in here...
How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you? Probably not as well, I wouldn't imagine. You're in jail. But I need to know what you're in here for, because if you genuinely did something terrible, I can't let you out.
Scared.
It's okay, you don't have to be scared. I know this place was probably a terrifying place to be. A terrifying place to find yourself. What's your name? I've asked who I'm talking to, but I need to know. Who is this?
I thought I heard, "It's me."
It's you. Who is you? I just heard something down there. I thought I just heard a movement down here. Okay, how about this? I'll say some names that I know. I by no means know all of the names of people that could be up here, but is this Harvey? Is this Jerome? Is this Sheriff Ellis? Mr. R.D. Ellis? You hear those voices? There are people being very loud in the parking lot across the road. I'm about to go yell and tell them to pipe down. Is this Roy? Is this another inmate that I haven't mentioned? Another prisoner? It's weird, GhostTube has gotten very quiet all of a sudden. Like as soon as that happened. It was very, very talkative. Let me go back over here to the women's section. Ooh.
Hey.
Hey. Did you see that? Did you see me kick over our brand new EMF detector that Dave just bought? Nothing's safe.
There seems to be a male voice trying to come through, but it's very weak.
Whoever the man is, can you get closer to Dave?
Ho?
Hope. Do you still have hope?
How did I die?
Can I walk over here and suddenly GhostTube starts talking again? I don't know. I don't know who I'm talking to. Who is this? Can you tell me the last thing you remember? Get close to Dave and tell him what is the last thing you remember. What's the last thing you remember? What's the last thing you remember? Can you tell Dave?
You won't lie, or something like that?
I won't lie. And I won't talk badly about you either. Whatever crime you committed, whatever you did, you served your time. You've paid the price. But I need to know. There's a lot of people that are curious about what happens to us when we move on. So if you can tell me, what is the last thing you remember? What do you see? Any of that? Tell Dave. Let me show you how this works right here. If you get close to this, you can touch it.
I want you to go.
Oh, I'm sorry. Still there's someone in here who really wants us to leave. I understand you may want us to go. Who is this that wants us to leave? Is it Sheriff Ellis? Is this R.D. Ellis? People believe they've seen you around this jail, sir. that they've seen your shadow. Tell Dave if you're the sheriff or if you're a prisoner. I'm coming back down, Roy. Okay. So now I know for sure the people that were outside talking are gone, so we'll have no more contamination from them. They're gone. Can you push that door shut behind me? That way nobody can get in.
I said no.
All right, you don't have to. We're not going to force you to do anything.
I'll keep it. I think it said I'll keep it.
You'll keep it. You'll keep the door open? Miranda told us that you really like the ladies. But she also said you might have been dangerous.
Leaving.
I'm sorry. If that's a point of contention with you, I won't bring it up, my friend. What do you want to talk about? You like sports?
Hey,
Hello? Can you tell Dave your name? My name's Ryan, and that's Dave down there. So far, no equipment interaction that I've seen. Unless the tripwire's gone off while I've been down here, or one of the EMF detectors has gone off. And I just haven't seen it.
move it, I think I heard.
Move it. Okay. I'll move something for you. I moved it for you. Can you show me if you're here? I'd love to get a chance to talk to someone. I'm sure you had a lot of lonely nights in this jail. I'm going to come back in there. So far, again, equipment is very quiet. Equipment hasn't had much activity, but earlier, there was a lot of responses to the ghost tube that were pretty creepy and relevant, especially because they all correlated to what Dave was saying with the please leave, and then this said, please go, and then it said some other variation of that I can't remember. But it's gone fairly quiet here over the past few minutes. I might end up having to walk down there and see if Dave wants to come out from under the Estes. We can try an EVP session or something. Ending on ghost tube?
No way.
It's not me, because this is literally, I don't know if you can see that. It's in airplane mode. Hello, Roy. Thank you. Is that all you wanted me to do, was shut off that? Whew, I have chills. I have chills all over my body right now. Literally every hair on my body is standing up. Roy, can you touch that again if you can hear my voice? If this is someone else... Can you touch it? Can you touch that light again if this is someone else? That was so creepy. I was not expecting that. I literally said, I was like, it's not going to go off. I'll just leave it there as I go down and talk to Dave. Maybe I just make sure that that wasn't me. Okay, I was sitting here. And then I stood up. Let me stop recording on GhostTube again. I'll start a clip just as a test. And then I'll stop recording and make sure that that doesn't set it off. Okay, so rolling on GhostTube. This is a test, this is a test, this is a test. As you can see.
Nellie.
Nellie. This is a test, this is a test, this is a test. Ending? Literally nothing. I don't know if you can see that, but literally nothing. It was not my phone. My phone is in airplane mode. Hey, Dave. Dave.
Yeah.
It's been kind of quiet through the Estes for a couple of minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But things have kind of been very creepy out here.
Really?
Yes. I don't know if you wanted to end this and then do an EVP session or something.
Yeah. There's a mountain mob up here. Did they come in here?
Rolling, this is the Scott County Jail EVP. Placing it right here on the table.
I heard the mountain mob came in here and took care of business. Is that true? Showed y'all inmates who the real tough guys were, right?
Is Sheriff Ellis here, R.D. Ellis? You told me on GhostTube that, or you told Dave to free you. Do you need to be let out? Ending.
Is Sheriff Ellis here or the other?
I have it on.
You told me on GhostTube that, or you told Dave to free you. Do you need to be let out?
I hear like maybe.
But I thought I heard, yes, I do. It kind of sounds like a southern accent.
Yes, I do.
That's kind of creepy.
Maybe that was Roy.
Roy, if you need to be let out, can you turn the lights back on again? No. It was literally right here beside the camera, whatever that sound was. Really quick. Before we have to go investigate a different floor because it is 1 o'clock, I want to do a quick EVP session maybe in that women's area over there.
Okay. You want me to film it?
Hmm?
Do you want me to film it?
Yeah, if you want to. You got 9 minutes of battery left on that now. Rolling EVP session, second EVP session in the Scott County Jail. We're in the area that was the women's maximum security. If there's any ladies in here, we heard that you got into trouble for taking the ceiling down to get stuff over to the men. Were you trying to get to the boys? Did you hear that?
I thought that was your stomach.
No. It sounded like it came from behind you.
No, it sounded like it came from over there.
It probably would have had to have been between us then. Did you hear that?
I thought that was your stomach.
No. What are we hearing? I bet it was pretty cold up here in the winter without windows and only bars.
Can you please tell us what your name is?
You said coming to get me when I was standing right where Dave is. Who's coming to get you? Ending. I'm going to listen back to this really fast. 3 minutes left on that camera battery. And this is 3 minutes long.
Session in the Scott County Jail, or in the area that was the women's maximum security. So then ladies in here, we heard that you got in trouble for taking the ceiling down to get stuff over to the men.
At this point in the night, we have less than 2 hours left in our investigation. With 2 floors left to cover, we have to move on. But before we do, we finish listening to the audio recording from the women's cell, and don't find any unexplained voices. Whoever was so eager to talk to us up here on the 3rd floor has either used up all the energy or moved on. So we decide it's time to take on the 2nd floor and to try an interesting experiment that involves Dave and a pair of handcuffs.
All right, so we're here on the 2nd floor. We are getting ready to start the 2nd session, and on the 2nd floor, Dave actually has volunteered to do seer because he is really feeling the sensory deprivation. He started with the Estes, now he's ready for seer.
Yes. Yes, I am. I'm not feeling well today, so I want to contribute in some part, so...
That's right, Dave's fighting through. He had some sort of food poisoning that he's been dealing with since he woke up today, and so... he is going to be wearing the seer. He is not going to be moving around as much, but hopefully he'll be able to get some relevant images coming through. For those of you that don't know, the seer is an image generating program, but it actually uses the magnetometer in the device And just like the Ghost Tube original that I was using upstairs, words are selected, but then those words are run through an image generator, and from there we can possibly get images that could be relevant to what happened here. So we will find out. I'm gonna set Dave up here because there's a special twist to this, isn't there, Dave?
There is. Which I also strangely brought up to do.
Volunteered for.
Yeah.
So, go ahead and assume the position.
I don't know what the position is.
That. I'm gonna be handcuffing Dave to the door, and now he can't get out. So,
Nope.
That was me. Let me go ahead and get you set up with this. All right, Dave is outfitted with seer, and we'll see what happens. Moving out the door, it's me. As you can see, I can't walk out that door without setting that off, so hopefully...
Okay, it generated immediately, and it looks like a room with a bunch of different other rooms. I don't want to say they're cells.
Huh.
But that's very interesting.
A room with a bunch of other rooms, huh?
Like a bunch of doorways.
Kind of like the room that I'm standing in now. How many doors are there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7 doorways. Is it a square room?
Nope, I'm just seeing a long wall and it's gone.
Oh, wow. Long hallway?
It was like a long wall generating.
Oh, wow.
We've got 2 men fighting each other. It looks like maybe gladiator era.
Is there a fight in that room? I'm gonna scoot the REM pod into the kitchen here. We heard someone in here likes to take a bunch of shiny objects and hide them. Scissors, razors. They still haven't found that razor that was hidden in here from when it was a jail. In the dumbbell, or excuse me, in the dumbwaiter, not in the dumbbell, in the dumbwaiter. Is there anyone in here cooking? It's almost time to start making breakfast, I'm sure.
I was thinking brownies.
Ooh, brownies. Nothing like some nearly 2 a.m. brownies, huh?
That's right. I'm handcuffed in here. Can someone come in and help me? Can someone get me out of these cuffs?
He acted up in there. Now he's not allowed out. He's on the bottom bunk, but I don't know. If you don't want him on that bottom bunk, if that's your bed, let us know.
Generating. Okay, we've got a woman with a red dress looking at a boat in the water.
Does anybody know that woman?
It looks like she has some sort of a brooch on, but I can't tell.
Brooch.
Okay, she's gone. Can you come through this device that I'm wearing? I know it's very weird, but you're able to manipulate it in certain ways and show me things about yourself. Generating.
Wow.
It kind of looks like, I don't want to say a crime scene, but there's like bits and chunks of stuff all over the floor. I don't really know how to explain that. That's weird.
Is it like a house?
No, it's just a floor with a bunch of stuff all over the floor.
Are you showing Dave what you did? Speaking of the crimes committed, Miranda told us that if you read this, things happen. A Winona youth was taken into custody and charged with first-degree murder Sunday morning, a short time after allegedly beating to death a young 17-year-old Capitol Hill mother who had just returned home from her job at Big John's Foodette. The victim, who was identified as Rhonda Meese Bird, was found gasping for breath by her 14-year-old brother-in-law, whose mother had been babysitting Saturday evening with the victim's child. Officers said the young woman died a short time later in her husband's arms. If you're here, I'm exiting the room. Can you give us a sign of your presence? Tell us if you're here.
I want to know whose bunk I'm sitting on. Can you tell us or show us? Come on, come through and communicate with us. We have a bunch of different devices on the floor with different colored lights that you can try and touch. Generating.
Is it recognizable?
No.
If you had to take any sort of guess, what does it remind you of?
It looks like two very strange looking people.
Two very odd looking people?
Yeah. Very strange looking. And it's gone.
If there's someone on the stairs, come up here, come down here. We'd love to hear your footsteps. We hear that Sheriff Ellis is known to speak and walk up and down these stairs. Mr. Ellis, you were viciously attacked outside the front doors of this jail. Do you remember that? You were bringing a moonshiner into this jail. You made it your goal to try and make this county a dry county. I think your words were drier than the Sahara Desert. Did that make a lot of people mad? Rolling EVP session in the hallway of the second floor. Scott County Jail, sitting on the floor.
What do you inmates think? Are you on board for having a dry county?
Are you okay with a county drier than the Sahara Desert? Or would you rather make some shine and party?
If you like the moonshine, can you touch that red light in the kitchen in there?
If there's any shiners left in here, I bet you that you probably don't get along with the sheriff too well.
Generating.
Ending?
Are you kidding me?
What?
It looks like an old, I can't really tell the gender, but somebody elderly laying in a bed. It looks like a prison cell or a jail cell.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It's actually going back and forth between a male and female face.
Oh, wow.
Which is weird. It's gone.
Is that an image of you in the cell? Were you a elderly gentleman? Or were you an elderly person that was locked up in here?
Something major happened on this floor many years ago that led to the third floor being created. What was that?
While we wait to see if anything comes through of that, in response to that, I'm going to review this.
Okay.
Rolling EVP session in the hallway of the second floor. Scott County Jail, stay on the floor. Will you indicate sections? Are you on board for that? Are you okay with a county drier than the Sahara Desert? Or would you rather make some shine and party? You
Ooh, tripwire.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Tripwire just lit up. Let me go back.
But then Shiner crosses me out. That shit, you probably don't get along with the sheriff too well. Anything?
Nothing on EVP.
Okay, so what are the odds of getting the same thing twice?
On Seer,
Yeah.
I would say impossible because it generates a new image every time.
Because I literally got the same the strange looking people.
Again.
Same exact thing.
Like, exact image?
Exact.
We gotta contact Amy and Jared about that and ask.
Yeah, I've never seen that happen before.
I've never seen that happen before either.
This duplicate image has really confused us, because Seer takes the words selected by magnetic readings from the word bank and uses AI to generate unique images each time. So how the exact same image generated twice is a mystery to everyone that we talk to. But the duplication is not the only strange part of this image, because something in it has relevance to the history of Scott County, Tennessee.
We've had people who have been sitting under the devil poster down there, and they'll start getting devil and demon on their boxes and look up, and right there's the Scott County devil behind them.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Yeah. What is the Scott County Devil?
So the Scott County devil is that picture that was on the wall down there, and basically it's our local cryptid. So in 1921, Cruz Sexton unearthed that demon from his property in a cave. He said it was 6'4", had wings, had an oversized head, big hands. And so he took it to the local train depot, set it up and charged people $0.25 to see it. Stayed there till the depot was destroyed, and it hasn't been seen since. They say it made an appearance at the Chicago World's Fair. But whether it was, an elaborate hoax or rather something that he did pull up from his property is pretty incredible for 1921. So yeah, so it's known as the Scott County Devil or the Helen Wood Devil.
Interesting.
I mean, I'm good with going ahead and stopping this if you want to look at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because this thing's about to saw through my wrist.
Okay. Let me go ahead and take the handcuffs off of you. Set this down. We should probably move to the first floor here anyway before too long, so we have some time to check out that bathroom.
Generating. Oh, whoa.
What is it?
Okay. Looks like a tall man in a black suit with a black hat. Oh, wow.
Does it look like Sheriff Ellis?
Don't know. He's turned away.
Oh, he's turned away?
Yeah. That was me whispering, oh, wow, by the way.
We'll have to go down and recollect compare it to the image downstairs of the sheriff.
Yes.
And that's exactly what we did. But we're not going to tell you our conclusion. We want you to tell us what you think. Does this man facing the trees look like it could be Sheriff R.D. Ellis? And could this be a sign of things to come on the next part of our investigation?
Oh wow, it is the exact same image twice.
Yeah.
It's weird, there's like something... It almost looks like a horned head in between.
I saw that and I agree, but I didn't want to jump to conclusions.
Well, what's weird is we'll have to compare it to that picture of that cryptid that they...
Ooh.
Because remember, there's a cryptid from Huntsville that they call what they call the Huntsville Devil or something?
Something like that.
So this is the cryptid they supposedly found in 1926 or something like that. You can see the horns.
Ew.
They found it. He supposedly found it buried on his property. But isn't it weird that it's it almost looks like people laughing behind it?
Mm-hmm.
And they're it's like the head of that, but it's it's a very strange comparison.
But why would we get the same picture twice?
I don't know. Maybe because you didn't mention it?
Maybe.
Maybe it generated the same image because it said the exact same thing twice in a row.
Could be.
Because you never mentioned, you mentioned the people, which they do look very strange. But you never mentioned the head with the horns in between.
No, I did not. I did not want to jump to conclusions.
But it is weird, it's strange to think that, because Miranda even said, people get devil in this area.
Really?
Yeah, on, their different word database devices, Ovilus, Ghost Tube, Spirit Talker. They seem to get the word devil, which is strange because it's right beside the display where they talk about this cryptid that's the Huntsville Devil that was found. Because this was actually 1921 they found it, I believe, actually, not 1926. And if you think about it, at that time, this would have been maximum security. That would have been the talk of the entire town.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Someone finds that buried in the ground at their property. I know I'd be talking about it.
People are still talking about it.
Yeah. All right, before we start this last session here on the first floor, one of the things they do here at the Scott County Jail is they allow you to sign these handcuffs and then hang them up on the wall. Now, these were the handcuffs that Dave was using during that last seer session. So if you all ever happen to come here and visit the historic Scott County Jail in Huntsville, Tennessee, you might just find these handcuffs that Dave was wearing with our name signed on them hanging on the wall. So let's go ahead and write Paranormal Quest, so you can see paranormal quest. Look at that. You'll have to come here and find our handcuffs. All right, we heard that maybe the sheriff or other people like to hang out down here, especially in the bathroom, or maybe a correctional officer. We left some equipment or some strange lights and things for you to mess with to let us know you're here. And they're not, I'm sure you've seen them before. All they do is they let us know where to talk to you. So if you get close to them and you want to let us know you're here, you can do that. If there's any inmates in the drunk tank, I also put the keys right here. I bet you there was a lot of people that ended up in the drunk tank because they had too good of a night. Ended with a lot of regrets.
How many times did you end up in that drunk tank? Get in there, Ryan. Get on in there. Oh, I didn't realize you had a camera in there.
Yeah.
Can you go in there and sit beside Ryan?
Must have been pretty sad whenever you came to or came out of your drunken stupor to find yourself in here. Ooh, EDI Plus just went off.
Mm-hmm.
Are you over there by that?
This was supposed to be a dry county. How'd you end up in that drunk tank? Was it a mistake?
Me? This one in here has a window. How many nights did you sit in here and stare at the ceiling and regret what you did?
Was this your house down here when the sheriff worked here?
You want to take a walk through these other rooms here really fast? We heard they hear children in here. Are you one of the kids of the sheriff?
Just outside this window here, something very, very bad happened to the sheriff. What was that? You want to maybe do a ghost tube right here?
Yeah. Give me 1 second here. You were trying to unlock these gates, Sheriff. Do you remember what happened? Nothing on Spirit Box. We asked if we wanted to do another quick ghost tube to see, because ghost tube was pretty on point upstairs.
Yeah.
Might be worth it just to see. So this would have been right at the spot where Sheriff Ellis would have been bringing in that moonshiner.
Do you remember the battery life on this? Because it just zapped down to dying. I'm gonna
Let me get you another one.
cut because it's like the flashing symbol.
During this session, we've had 2 of our 3 camera batteries drained suddenly, and we don't even realize the camera inside the drunk tank cell isn't even running anymore. It's a theory that spirits can drain batteries to use the energy to produce paranormal activity. But for this camera that Dave is holding, we did just walk from inside the heated jail to the much colder outdoor temperatures, which can also cause decreased battery life. This is the more likely explanation for Dave's camera battery suddenly draining. So all we can do is get a new battery and continue our session.
Sheriff, did you drain the battery on our camera there? We're standing right where somebody ended your life, and it's never been solved. Did you know who the person was?
Or do you even know how it happened? You may not have even realized what happened to you.
If you can hear us and you didn't know what happened, somebody walked right up behind you as you were walking somebody through this door and took your life. Did you know that?
The question is, did they also shoot the deputy? My guess is not.
I'm going back in.
Yeah, that's a jamming song.
Ceiling.
Ceiling.
No, it didn't say one single thing the whole time we were out there.
Not until we came in here. There is a vent up there. I wonder if there's something hidden in there. Oh shoot, this camera died too in here.
Did it?
Yeah, this camera's dead. Hopefully.
Whoa!
Whoa.
Can you cut that dead light? Wow. Are you in there now? Did you just follow Ryan into the drunk tank? Did you see how you made those lights light up like that? Could you do it again?
It's very weird because if that happened, that might have been 2 cameras at the same time dying.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are the chances of that?
You want us to let you out? If you do, can you touch the red light right there? We'll let you out.
Well, guys, unfortunately, we hate to cut this because it seems like something may be about to happen. And what we may do is leave this camera run, which also...
Shot.
Shot?
No
Are you
way.
serious? We asked him outside if he knew what happened to him, and it just said shot.
Wow.
Were you in here all along, Sheriff? 16 minutes on that one.
I can't believe that just said shot.
I literally just said something's about to happen. That is insane. So you know that you were shot then, Sheriff?
Can you confirm that by touching another one of our devices here? Please? Whoa! Thank you so much. Wow.
That was
Okay.
so bright.
Wow.
That is crazy.
If that was the sheriff, thank you so much.
You can see that whole strand pretty much too in there. Thank you, Sheriff. We really appreciate it, and we want to thank you for allowing us in the jail tonight and for being so willing to talk to us. We can't stay any longer. We have to pack up our stuff because we have less than 10 minutes before our night is over, and we don't want to overstay our welcome and end up being in jail ourselves.
I don't think you could have asked for a better ending than that.
I don't think so either. That was a crazy way to end the night. The historic Scott County Jail delivered for us tonight, and we will definitely be back because this was an amazing place to investigate. This was a lot of fun. And make sure you hit that thumbs up button and leave a comment down below about what you thought of the episode and our investigation tonight.
Yeah, can we get to 7,000 likes on this one, guys? And we'll come back here.
I would love that. And also be sure, remember guys, if you are in the Huntsville, Tennessee area, or if you're from the area, or even if you're just traveling through, make sure you stop in and visit. They not only have the paranormal investigations here, it's a true crime museum, and they have daytime tours. Come and learn about the history of the historic Scott County Jail, and maybe even say hi to Sheriff Ellis or some of the prisoners while you're here.
Or do the escape room.
Or do the escape room. See if you can escape. No one ever escaped the Scott County Jail. See if you can do it. Thank you guys so much for watching. We love this place. And we will be back next week with another investigation.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you, Sheriff. At another location on this paranormal quest. Bye.
Bye.